Hey y'all, welcome back to Prepping the Truth. Welcome to today's video. Happy Monday. I hope your week has got started off good. We are going to be talking about some more shortages that have been announced that are going to be headed our way. So if you haven't seen this already in some of these news articles, I'm going to give you an update so that you're prepared and ready for what you might start seeing in the store shelves not long from now. So if you're new to this channel, please click that subscribe button down below. Be sure to tap the notification bell beside it so that you're notified when I upload new videos. And as always, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to share so that more and more people knows what's happening and what's going on. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about two items that are being listed as going to be in short supply very soon. If not, some of it is already happening on one of them. And y'all may have already seen it in your stores. So far in our stores, I'm not seeing shortages on eggs. I have before, but not right now. But they are saying you are going to start seeing a bunch more of it because they're saying the bird flu prompted another slaughter of 1.8 million chickens in Nebraska. So, with all of the chickens that have already been slaughtered before this, now they're saying that this is the state's 13th case of bird flu, and it was found on an egg-laying farm in northeast Nebraska's Dixon County, about 120 miles north of Omaha, Nebraska. This is where other farms, the bird flu was already found earlier this year. All the chickens on the Nebraska farm will be killed to limit the spread of the disease. So they're not going to be treating anything. They're just automatically killing them so the whole farm gets wiped out. So this is a whole entire egg-laying farm that's fixed to be completely out of production, and we're going to have to restart. And, that takes a while to restart when you have this many chickens being killed off at one time. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says more than 52.3 million birds in 46 states, mostly chickens and turkeys on commercial farms, have been slaughtered as part of this year's outbreak. Nebraska is second only to Iowa's 15.5 million birds killed, with 6.8 million birds now affected at 13 farms. So this was a lot of stuff that was happening during the summer, so it was, sooner or later going to show up on store shelves. But now they're saying we're going to see more and more egg shortages because more and more outbreaks are starting to happen. So that's one of the things that you can be on the lookout for. And not only will it be shortages, but that's another thing that is causing the prices to raise. Supply and demand, when there's more people wanting them and less to go around, of course, they always raise that price. So something else right here, if you haven't already seen it. The U.S. blocks Dominican Republic sugar imports, citing forced labor. They are saying they have an import ban that targets sugar from Central Romanian company, and this is the Domino brand. If you don't know, exactly the corporation this is running they're using their corporation name, but it's the Domino brand. We see it pretty much every single store we have around here. It's usually the store brands such as Great Value and Walmart, and then Domino brand. But the Biden administration announced Wednesday that it would block shipments of sugar from this corporation, a Dominican Republic company that produces sugar sold in the United States under the Domino brand, and that has long faced allegations of subjecting its workers to poor labor conditions. They're saying it's based off of information that recently indicates the use of forced labor in its operations, abusive working and living conditions, excessive overtime, withheld wages, and other violations. But this is one of the main corporations that our sugar comes from. So if they have banned the exports, sooner or later it's going to start showing up with a lot of shortages on sugar, because they send in over 200 million pounds of sugar to the U.S. each year. And it's owned partly by one family. And they're saying this one family is influential force in the U.S. politics for decades as key donors to both Republicans and Democrats. So, they're saying it's a subject of an intense debate on Capitol here, where the profits from the sugar industry are funneled into generous campaign contributions, lobbying expenditures, according to people familiar with the discussions who spoke on the condition of being anonymous. They don't want nobody to know. But they're saying this one alone produces roughly 59% of Dominican Republic sugar. So it could have a crippling effect if it's not sent over here to us with how many million pounds that we purchase from it. It says it's going to cause significant disruptions to the U.S. sugar imports. Economists said the impact of sugar prices, which are heavily influenced by regulation, remain to be seen. So they're not saying if those prices are going to raise or not, but we all know so far, every time we start seeing shortages on a product, supply and demand again, we start seeing the prices raise. We start seeing stuff go up, and then they start putting limits. That'll probably be one of the first things they'll do when they stop being able to get stuff in as much. They'll start putting limits on it so you won't be able to go in and get as much, and then all of a sudden the price is going to go up even more than they already are. So this is 2 items right here that I've just found today. I knew some of this was kind of going on, but I hadn't really seen the articles to back it up all the way. So I did find these articles that is backing it up all the way, that we're going to have major egg shortages, and that they have banned the import of the sugar from the Domino Company. So that's millions of pounds of sugar that is not going to be coming across. So be prepared for that to be off of the shelf. So if you haven't already got self-sufficient with chickens and things like that to get your own eggs, there's no better time than right now to go ahead and start your supply and start getting things ready, because it's not just about having eggs and chickens that you know what you're feeding them and where they're coming from, but it's also a mere fact that there could be one day that you walk into those stores and it's just not there, and it's one of the key components that most people use to cook with. So shortages like this really affects people that are not self-sufficient and things like that when it comes to going and purchasing groceries. So get self-sufficient as possible. Free range them if you have to, if you're in an area that you can do it. If not, build you some nice pens. Anything to contain them and keep the wild animals out, set them up some places, and you will have eggs eventually. It just takes a little time. That's why when you start killing off a whole entire commercial operation of egg-laying hens and more or less having to start from scratch, when it's by the millions, there's going to be a major disruption, because they don't just start laying, right after they're hatched. It takes a little while. So we're getting way behind on stuff like that, because you can't just hatch them and then start having eggs. It takes a while. So these disruptions aren't going to last for just a little bit. It will continue to go on for a little while once all of this starts to kick in. So thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Stay safe. God bless you, and keep prepping.